Introducing Luke and the Heartthrob.
Is Romina here?
Who's that guy?
He's yours.
You're not gonna tell me?
I heard from you in over a year. You just took off.
My son and I should be around him. I wasn't around my dad. Look the way I turned out.
How are you going to take care of us?
I can't think of another line of work that I'd rather be in.
You're so smart, you can do anything you want. Just don't understand why you're doing this.
I'm a cop, Jed. Got a kid?
Hey guys, Lucas here again for another movie review. Today it's for The Place Beyond the Pines, which is the new film written and directed by Derek Cianfrance. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it stars Ryan Gosling, Bradley Cooper, Eva Mendes, Ray Liotta, and Dane Dehaan. A lot of people are excited for this movie because Derek Cianfrance and Ryan Gosling made Blue Valentine, which is a movie that a lot of people love, but I never saw. I heard it was a downer. But, and then people started seeing this movie at TIFF last year, and they got really good reviews, and people were saying it's really good. So I was very interested, and then once the trailer came out, I thought that the story seemed very interesting. So I've been excited ever since this was around the TIFF and the buzz was coming out. And I'm going to do a lot to not try to spoil anything in this movie because there's a lot of twists and turns in this. Ryan Gosling's character Luke, who's a stunt motorcycle driver for like a traveling circus, and he finds out he has a kid that he didn't know about with Eva Mendes' character, and he starts robbing banks with his partner to start to support his family because he's pretty broke. And eventually he keeps doing them until Bradley Cooper's character kind of comes into play and their stories interweave, and then later on in the movie Dane Dehaan's character interweaves with the whole story. And I'm being very vague because I don't want to spoil anything in this movie. The movie's kind of set up in 3 acts or 3 different storylines, and you almost feel that it was based off a play or a novel, but it's an original screenplay, and I gotta say, this is probably the best movie I've seen this year. The thing that really just makes this movie great is the performances by everyone are just fantastic. Ryan Gosling is playing his, his usual badass, kind of like he did in Drive, but in a much different way. He definitely talks more, but he's very suave, very cool, and even though he's a bad guy, he's still very likable, and you're rooting for him because he is a bad guy, but he's trying to do things out of a good place. So you do like his character a lot, and I would say Bradley Cooper's character is kind of the main character in the story. He's the main person that that the story kind of revolves around and focuses on the most. And it was very refreshing to see Bradley Cooper kind of step out of his comfort zone, kind of like he did in Silver Linings Playbook, and I think he gives almost as good of a performance as he did in that movie with this. He's playing a cop, and I really like where his character went, and I thought he was great in the movie. And also Dane Dehaan, who's in like the movie for the last 35-40 minutes, I thought was very good, and he almost plays a character similar to his character in Chronicle, but I didn't want to punch him in the face like I did in Chronicle. And the thing that Derek Cianfrance does so well in this movie is interweave the characters' stories and their narratives and the themes really well. That's also another thing that felt very novel-like about this movie, is that this movie definitely deals with the themes of fatherhood and choices and consequences. And I'm not usually one to comment on like big themes or anything, but this movie is so... The whole movie kind of is about these themes, and it's really what you leave the theater thinking about. And I thought that all these things interweaved very well without feeling convoluted or contrived. And I just thought that the writing and directing combined those very well. And also, I think the composer for this movie was Mike Patton, and I gotta say the music was very haunting but beautiful at the same time. I really liked the music in this. It really set up this really kind of dark, almost scary tone, and the movie has this really kind of haunting and yet beautiful aspect of it. It's hard to explain, but I just thought the direction was so perfect. It creates this atmosphere that just really sticks with you. However, this movie is about 2 hours and 20 minutes long, and trust me, you feel every minute of it. I was really entertained through this movie, but at the same time, I felt the movie was long, but I was still very interested in the story, so I didn't really mind the length. But this is definitely a movie that you're conscious of its length, because it is very long, but it is telling an epic story, and it does span several decades, so you can understand why it's that long. Even though I did say the music was really well done and really set up the atmosphere, this movie is very dramatic. In fact, you could call it a melodrama, and I felt that the music kind of took it too far. I just felt like it was trying too hard to be emotional, and it just made the movie more melodramatic, but not in a good way. It just made it seem more pretentious in a way, or it was taking itself just way a little bit too seriously. So I felt that the music in certain spots took the melodrama a little bit too far. But that was just a minor complaint that happened a couple of times in the movie. But overall, I thought the music and atmosphere was great. This is definitely the most original movie I've seen this year. If you want to see a movie that has great characters, great story, and great themes, something that's been missing from this year by far, I definitely say when it comes out in full release, I think in the next couple of weeks, definitely check it out. If you're in New York and LA, I definitely suggest you to see if it's playing by you, because it's a great movie, best movie I've seen this year. It's just really effective filmmaking and storytelling, and I'm going to have to give The Place Beyond the Pines 4.5 stars out of 5. Most of you guys probably haven't seen this yet, but if you have, I really want you to tell me what you thought of it. I want you to tell me what your favorite storyline out of the three was if you've seen it. Without spoiling anything, please do not spoil anything in the comments if you have seen it. But yeah, if you like this review, please comment below and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.
I want to do 2 in one day.
Yo, get up!
I'm not gonna let you bring us both down.
There's a way out of this. You're not gonna like it.
You know something, Luke? If you ride like lightning, you're gonna crash like thunder.